Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 4048, probably. Yeah, today's date is 11th of May 2026. It's been almost like a morning at 8:21 a.m. All right. Uh, Today we have warning that today might be temperature goes beyond. Okay, like. We have kind of like a red warning. Okay, what's the red warning? Like when the city temperature is get too much, the notification is actually arrive in the city that today's weather is too much extreme, do not go outside. Okay, so today is very much extreme weather. It's been almost like 8:30 and right now feeling almost like a 37 degrees Celsius. Maximum temperature might gonna go 44 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's been very hot. Yes. All right. So should we jump to the question? Yeah, let's just jump. By the way, if you are kind of like a thinking that if there is too much hot, then why am I recording outside? Well, basically it's a shadow. Like this is a wall. Okay, and because of this wall, I'm kind of like getting the shadow, which is good, and sun is actually behind. Okay, so that's why I'm not really facing that much. But even if I just went there, literally just like my hand got burned, like literally that much amount of heat that it has. Whatever. So let's just jump. Okay, so question is, what if user try to expose themselves? All right. So first of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? I wanted to build a app called My Artifact. Okay, what exactly is this application? Um, when you wrote the diary every single day, you cannot able to be write the diary the way that you wanted to. The reason is that the way that you think, sorry, the way that you write is much more slower than way that you think. Okay, why does we write so slow? It we write so slow is because of that there is a lot of constraint. We need a pen, we need a paper, we need a convenience, we need a spelling mistake and lot of things. That's why we are not able to be express our thoughts that much clearly and properly. Okay, yeah. So that's why most of the people are not kind of like simply write the diary every single day and things and that. But writing a diary is a very essential tool. Like it's a self-reflection process. You actually connect with yourself more. But the problem is that because of no one is kind of like a writing a diary, so no one is actually connecting with themselves. Like a very less people are kind of like a writing a diary because of these all those constraints. I thought that what if I would kind of like a convert writing a diary to recording a diary. Like instead of writing a diary, why not we should supposed to be record diary, like a audio record diary. I call this process called artifact. Okay, this recording diary, I call that artifact. The stuff that you are kind of like listening right now, this is My Artifact episode number 4047. I am doing this thing for past 11 year, and I am doing this thing every single day. And because of this kind of like a recording artifact or self reflection process, it adds so much amount of value in myself. The person that I am today and the person that I will become tomorrow, it is all because of artifact. Okay, so basically I realize that the amount of value that I get from this artifact, I have to be share this value to the people so that they would supposed to be get this value from this artifact. But how do I supposed to be share this technicality? How do I supposed to share this thing? By building an application. Okay, so my application is a kind of like a somewhat something like a YouTube. Okay, yeah, in the YouTube platform you actually kind of like record your video and upload your video on YouTube platform and other people sees your video. My platform, my artifact is a kind of like a same. You record your artifact, upload your artifact, other people kind of like a listen your artifact. There is only one catch is that people will not gonna know who you are and things and that. Their privacy is always kept hidden. Like basically my name is a Saurabh Bauthare, but my artifact handle would be Prozac 1943 or Jackson 43 or whatever. Okay, yeah. Privacy is a very much essential. So this is a kind of like a something app that I am trying to build. Okay, yeah. Now before I wanted to build this application, I wanted to aware of all the possible consequences that what might gonna go wrong. Okay, yeah. What kind of what kind of like a challenges I would gonna face if I try to do this thing, what kind of like a challenges I would gonna face and things and that. So I went to ChatGPT. I tell my idea regarding about my application and things and that. And I tell them that he suggests me at least like a hundreds of questions so that I would be aware of all the possible consequences that will happen in the future and I would be prepared before this even happened. So ChatGPT kind of like a suggests me hundreds of questions. This is one of those questions. By the way, the question actually in the mobile phone, but while kind of like recording the artifact, I cannot do this thing. So that's why I kind of like a simply wrote the question in here. By the way, this is the book that I'm reading. By the way, if you are kind of like a following me, I am kind of like a reading this book for almost like a month or maybe more than a month. Why am I taking so much time to read this book? Well, it's a very big book. Okay, yeah. It's been almost like a 400 and something, 400, almost like a 500 pages of book. Okay, yeah. Almost, yeah. And it's a very big, heavy book. Not heavy means like that. Heavy means consuming the information from this thing. It's a very heavy. Okay. And basically I am not reading too much. I'm reading only just kind of like only couple of pages per day. Like I set the timer that 10 minute and I'm just reading 10 minute every single day his book. That's why it kept so much amount of time. Okay, and basically the content that it written on that book is like a very like a not user friendly. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is kind of like a very big book. Like I thought that I should supposed to be skip this book. Like in the middle of that I wanted to kind of like don't want to read this book, but I realized that no, I do not want to stop it. Instead of kind of like a stopping, like a at least kind of like a record, like at least kind of like a read a couple of pages. Okay, yeah, even if take kind of like a couple of like a weeks again or more, then fine. But yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like it take me like I started reading this book for almost like a yeah almost like a month ago. Yeah, probably yeah, like a month or like a like I don't know, like a 40-45 days. Yeah, but this book is really good, really amazing. Highly recommend to read this book. Okay, so question is that ki how basically um, how do I the question is that ki how do I supposed to be stopped. Okay, no, sorry, the question kind of like forget. What if user try to expose themselves? Okay, what exactly expose themselves? So I already mentioned that ki privacy is a very much essential. Okay, yeah. Now why am I kind of like a focusing on privacy that much? Okay, yeah. Is because of that ki, let's just try to understand. You wrote the diary. You tell your deep thoughts regarding about what you think and that and that and that. Obviously you don't want that ki the whatever the stuff that you write in your diary, you don't want that ki someone should supposed to be read that diary. You always want it to kept hidden. Why? Because of that it's a very personal thing. Okay, yeah. Because let me tell you one thing na ki the the person that we are, and the person that inside of us is a very different person. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about, every person has a two faces, outside face, inside face. Let's talk about the outside face. Outside face means like that ki, um, basically is this thing, we acted stuff according to the societal point of perspective, according to the surrounding point of perspective. Example, let's just say is this thing that ki, I don't want to be an engineer. Okay, yeah, but all my friends are kind of like a went into the engineering college. So basically that influence is a kind of like a some impact my decision, and I went to the engineering college. Okay, yeah. Do I want to go to the engineering college? No. But why do I choose that thing? Because the surrounding kind of like a things is influence my decision, and yeah, I did that thing. Okay, yeah. So am I pretending? No, I'm not pretending, but like a basically is this thing that ki, I'm not fully convinced to myself regarding about will I be able to be kind of um like a kind of like a things that ki, like I'm not really sure about that ki, what kind of like basically is this thing now, we believe in things that we see, or we believe in things that everyone believes. Okay, if everyone believes engineering, then we believe in engineering. So this is what it is. So this is the outside face, we acted upon what kind of like a society kind of like a tell us, and we acted upon them, acted kind of like them. Okay, yeah. But inside is a very different person, we inside are kind of like a some places saying that key very different. Like let's just say I don't want to engineering, I wanted to be filmmaker, but I can't tell this thing to my parents or to my things. Or why is that thing? Because of that key, my society, my people don't really accept me, the person that I'm from inside, because I wanted to be filmmaker, which is completely opposite to my society, opposite to the direction that everyone follows, and things and that and that. So I kept this hidden. Even if I wanted to, I kept this hidden. Okay, so that's why we are kind of like a hiding our kind of like a some the inner thing. Okay, yeah. And diary is a diary or artifact is a platform where kind of like a simply that he people kind of like a share their inner thoughts and things and that and that. Now because of they are kind of like a get habitual regarding about hiding their inner thoughts, they don't want to share their inner thoughts, and that's true. That's true, we don't want to keep sharing our inner thoughts and things and that. This is the reason number one. Reason number two is that our inner thoughts are very fragile. Fragile means what? Like we do not know what is exactly we want. Yeah, literally we do not know. Like a example is this thing, let's just say is this thing that ki, I watch a kind of like a movie making video, I wanted to be filmmaker. Then I watch a kind of like a fashion designer, and I wanted to be fashion designing. Then I watch a YouTube vlog, and I wanted to be a content creator. Now basically, have you ever realized that like basically is this thing, whatever we consume, we want it to be kind of like that. Our inner thoughts are very much fragile. Okay, not stagnant. Okay, yeah. I have a boyfriend, but I like this boy too. I like the girl, I have a girlfriend, but I like this girl too. Why is that? Because our thoughts are very messy, we are like a fragile, uncooked, raw, and things and that. And that's why, because of our thoughts are very much fragile, very unclear, very like a very not things and that. So that's why um, we are always wanted to keep hidden, because it's very messy, really messy, and things and that. Okay, yeah. We usually kind of like somebody put all those messiness into the writing a diary and things and that. But it's just like that na ki, all we always wanted to keep that hidden. Okay, yeah. And artifact is a kind of like that. Artifact is a kind of like a simply that ki, your thoughts, collection of your messy thoughts. Okay. And when you record those messy thoughts, obviously you don't want that you should supposed to be share those messy thoughts. Okay, or at least you don't want to associate that messy thoughts with your name, because of that it might gonna create problem and things and that. Okay, So that's why we are kind of like simply always wanted to keep hidden that thing. Okay, yeah, that inner side. So that's why I have this privacy that is very much essential for user, that if they wanted to share that their personal detail or things like you cannot able to be share your personal detail, but personal stories and things and that. Okay, yeah. Now my platform is that key, basically you can share your thoughts. Okay, yeah, but your name is not attached with it. Okay, when your name is not attached with it, you are kind of like a free to tell everything, but your name is not gonna mention. But why, like what exactly then, what exactly happened if I didn't really mention my name, and if I'm kind of like a sharing my kind of like a messy details of my thoughts, what is exactly happened? Okay, yeah. The world that we are living is a very much kind of like a systematic structure. Okay, yeah. Everything is predictable. Everything is a kind of like a some structure. Everything is a proper protocol. Everything is like a like a believable. Okay, yeah. Everything is a like a standard. Okay, and we are human, and basically this thing that key, because of we are living this standard life, our mind is like bore, or like basically just like that na ki, we do not find a particular person which is exactly like us. um, it's a very hard to explain regarding about that. Let me explain with the example. Okay, yeah. So let's just say a particular person who kind of like a something record an artifact regarding about how he got breakup and how much it affect on him. He mentioned that how much he pain, how much he feel pain and things and that. We knew breakup. We have a lot of movies regarding about breakup. We have a lot of perspective regarding about breakup too. But when we listen his story, we actually connect with that particular person. Why? Because of that, the movies, the breakup story that we heard till now is a third person point of perspective, which is add multiple layer of emotions and things and that. Okay, yeah. But when the person is actually hit the breakup, how much pain he is actually experiencing when he express those pain through artifact, you actually connect with that particular person more. Reason is that because we all are human, and we connect on another human. We connect each other. Okay, yeah. We understand what he that particular person been through, and we connect. It's a very hard to explain regarding about that, but we connect. It's a like a resonate, probably a really right word. Okay, we resonate with that particular person. Okay, yeah. That resonation, that the we resonate with that particular person is only and only happen through artifact. Okay, yeah. Because the traditional media, the movies, films and things, they are not kind of like a telling the perspective of the person that you've been through. Okay, yeah. They are kind of like a telling the perspective from third person point of perspective, not the first person point of perspective. Even if the first person point of perspective try to sharing the detail, but it's very layered of multiple things and that. But artifact is no filter at all. It's a raw, it's unfiltered. Okay, people are kind of like a sharing their thoughts, raw messy thoughts and things and that. Okay, yeah. So basically this thing, we actually connect with that character more. Okay, yeah. And that's a kind of like a things we resonate, and when we resonate we feel that thing ki, okay, world are still messier, people are still messy, people are kind of like a very crazy, people are kind of like a good, people are something that keep like, yeah, there is a lot of things. Okay, yeah. um but basically we have a YouTube now, like we have a YouTube, we have a Instagram, user are kind of like a sharing their detail, right? The problem is that ki YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, these are application do we have, yes, but they really require a kind of like a something face to sell the story. Okay, yeah. like you need a kind of like somebody, let's just say Bhuvan Bham. Now Bhuvan Bham is kind of like telling a story regarding about how he started YouTube and things and that. So his story is actually sell because of Bhuvan Bham. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this saying that the traditional media, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, you can tell your story, but the only and only that story will kind of like people will listen when people already know you. Why does people will kind of like listen someone random person story? No, definitely not. Why? Because of that we when we try to uh, when we try to consume any piece of content, we first of all categorize that piece of content through our type of content. Okay, let me explain this thing. Okay, yeah. um, Now basically is this thing na ki um, let's just say is this thing that a particular person, let's take a Dhruv Rathi video. Okay, yeah. So Dhruv Rathi is a kind of like a making a video about science, political, and whatever it is. Okay, yeah. So he makes a video regarding about that. Now here his visual representation is a very good, like a very creamy, very premium. Okay, yeah. Visual representation, like visually, I'm talking about visually. Okay, eyes. Okay, yeah. So it's a very visually kind of like a look really good. Okay, yeah. So it is more likely that we actually watch his video because visually his video is very much appealing. Okay, yeah. But the same video is a kind of like a said by a particular person like me, like you are kind of like a seeing a frame, like exactly a person who's standing there with a kind of like a stupid frame. Okay, there is a nothing really background, just completely just messed up, and talking about the things. Okay, yeah. So you will not gonna consume this kind of like a artifact, this kind of like a somebody visual, because look at my reference, look at my frame. Okay, in my frame there is no visual appealing things. Okay, nothing really at all. Even if I'm kind of like a saying the exact word of Dhruv Rathi, but you might not gonna listen to me. Okay, and that is what kind of like a things that basically is this thing na ki we consume the information regarding about, first we like that information or not, do we consume the information through visually appealing or not. If that visually appealing to me, then we proceed to it. Another example. Okay, yeah. Let's just say you are a kind of like a master chef. Okay, yeah. Your dish is not depend upon how it tastes good, it depends upon how it look good too. Okay, yeah. But we cannot eat from eyes, we eat from the things, and we love the taste. So basically the dish should supposed to be kind of like a determined by the taste. But why we have the presentation, why we have things and that, because we actually consume information, whatever the information that we wanted to consume, food or video or whatever it is, it should supposed to be kind of like a something is this thing visually appealing. Okay, yeah. If that visually appealing good, then we proceed. If someone make a kind of like a dish which is visually is not appealing but taste is really good, like really good, okay, yeah, then we do not try to eat those things. Example, let's take another example. Okay, yeah. Let's just say is this thing that I went to China. Okay, yeah, and someone kind of like a give me a dish about a kind of like a basically just crackers. Okay, like a cake day. Okay, yeah. uh, would you able to be eat that cake day? I would not. Why? Because of that I never really done that thing, and basically the cake day, the crabs are not meant to be eat. Like maybe other people kind of like eat those things, but I will not gonna eat that thing because, yeah. Let me tell you one thing, visually appealing things are different from people to people. If the person who are already a kind of like a simply a person who already consume crabs and things and that, then for them point of perspective, eating a crabs would be okay. But from my point of perspective, I haven't really eat the crabs, this might be very crazy for me. Okay, I would not gonna eat that thing. Okay, yeah. So this is what it is. Okay, yeah. We consume the information through visual things. Okay, yeah. But what if we could eliminate that visual thing and just completely just sell the story? Okay, yeah. Just the audio. Okay, yeah. And that's why my artifact came. Artifact, my platform, is a audio based platform. Okay, yeah. So you cannot able to be judge the user, or you cannot able to be judge who is that particular person that am I listening to, because there is no visual picture, nothing really at all. So when you are listening his thoughts. You don't know his name, you don't know how he look, you don't know where he came from, you don't know nothing really about, you just directly listening his thought process. And that's the magic of the artifact. You actually connect with your thoughts, with that particular person thoughts, without knowing who you are and who is another person and things and that. Okay, yeah. And that's called being human. We actually connect with each other more. An artifact is a platform that kind of like a things that key, there is no kind of like a creamy layer, there is no visual appearance, there is nothing really at all. Whatever your thoughts have, messy and things and that, and you can kind of like a things, you can connect. Okay, yeah. That's why it kind of like a felt really good when you kind of like a found someone which is kind of like a resonate with your thought process and things and that. Okay, so this is kind of like my platform. I already mentioned regarding about that. But make sure that when you try to do this thing, there is a kind of like a filter. Okay, yeah, some sort of filter. At least that particular person does not should supposed to be share his name and things and that and that. If that particular person share his name and things, then probably there is a visual appearance is established. Okay, yeah. Let's just say particular person might gonna say I am from South Bombay, then probably people might gonna believe okay he's from South Bombay, might be he's a kind of like a somebody earning so much amount of money or things or that and that and that and that. Then visually kind of like a creating picture regarding about that particular person who's kind of like a saying something in artifact. And I don't want that thing. Okay, yeah. It not only kind of like a problem for that particular person, because of that when that particular person mention the name, it might not affect today or it might not affect the tomorrow, but it will gonna affect in the future, literally in the future, because people connect the dots, people connect the dot. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like a very important thing that key, people should not supposed to be mention their name. It's a very essential fact. Okay, yeah. Because okay, let me tell you one thing. I am recording artifact, I am kind of like a sharing my name, you could see me, I am kind of like a mention my name and things and that and that. If I say that privacy is very much essential, then why are you kind of like a sharing your name and things and that and that? Now basically my stories are very different, because I established the artifact and I wanted to know that all the possible worst consequences happen if I attach my name into it. Okay, yeah. That's why all my artifact will gonna upload in the YouTube platform, because I wanted to know all the possible consequences that I might gonna face. Okay, yeah. And I will definitely gonna face the multiple consequences if I said something in here. Okay, yeah, because it will not gonna impact me today, it will not gonna impact me tomorrow, but it will gonna impact me in the future. Okay, yeah. People might gonna kind of like a criticize me that stuff I said today in the future. People in the future, they will criticize me that what I stuff I said today. Okay, yeah. But still I will take this load. I wanted to aware of that what might be worse consequences will gonna happen if I mention my name and things and that and that. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not just kind of like that. Also is this thing that when I started recording artifact, obviously there is no artifact, there is no app, right? There is no kind of like a things, there is no privacy in things and that and that. I don't know that like throughout these years of recording I realized that how much privacy is essential. Okay. And then after that I started implementing that if I wanted to build this application, if the people are kind of like a recording artifact, obviously they really require a kind of like a privacy. If they not have that privacy, people will not gonna believe in my application. Belief is a very much essential in my application. If the people are not trusting me, okay, so that is very much essential for me. Okay, so that's why I have built this privacy and that. But what if people are actually utilize this thing for wrong reason? Like wrong reason means what? Like a like a having a privacy means people can say anything that they want. Obviously, yeah. I am allowing you or to do say anything. Okay, yeah. It's a freedom of speech. You can say anything. But if you said something, it might gonna impact on other people. It impact on other people in a good way, that is okay. But if it impact on other people in a very wrong way, then that is wrong. Like a hate speeches political speeches or things and that, your thoughts are creating chaos in the society. That is not right thing. Obviously you can share, I am not stopping you to do this thing, but your artifact or whatever you kind of like recorded, your things will not gonna recommend to the more. Hey, shoo! What the fuck, this is the monkey. Oh my god. I'm so scared. Okay, literally this is kind of like so close to me. Have you ever seen that monkey so close? Like literally just like that, that monkey is a kind of like so close to me. It's been almost like just 10 feet away. By the way, monkeys are not really that much harmful. They just kind of like sitting there, and probably that is good thing to have that thing. But dude, I'm really scared about that. Dude, I keep it away. No, that's a fine. It's not really that harmful. Oh, there is another monkey. Oh my god. We have a lot of monkey in my house. There is another monkey over here. By the way, if you are kind of like seeing, yeah, like I'm not really sure if you are kind of like seeing because I'm looking at from the front screen. But yeah. Oh, there is also another monkey. Oh my god. We have armies of monkey. Okay, right over here. Then probably one here, and there is also another here too. Okay, yeah. Like monkeys are very calm animal. It's not really that problem at all. It's just okay to be have it and things and that. All right. Like the first time I'm kind of like seeing this wild animal so close to me, I just felt kind of like feel like really scared. Yeah. That monkey was gone. It's not really harmful that much. Okay, so yes. So what if the people will kind of like something try to expose them like a intentionally. Okay, yeah. They are not keeping their private and things and that. So in that situation, what will gonna happen? Well, same thing. Okay, yeah. First of all is that ki it will not gonna happen at first place. First of all is that ki your identity will kind of like trim down or strip out before it went to the application, before it went to the public. Okay, yeah. Your name and things will kind of like trim out in the application by your name and things, by the detecting noun and kind of like add beep over there. Okay, yeah. It will kind of like trim out. Okay, yeah. But still, even after you kind of like use a kind of like a crazy business things, like crazy stupid shit that key, probably you kind of like mention the name and things and that, still it kind of like create a chaos. Still it. Okay, this is the monkey. Okay, have you seen the monkey? That is the monkey. Yeah. He's kind of like sitting over there and kind of like being chilling and things like that. That's a fine, by the way. Monkeys are not really that much kind of like a crazy thing. Like if you wanted to see, okay, yeah, this is a monkey. Okay, yeah. See, have you seen monkey? Yeah, that is a monkey. Okay, he's coming. He's coming. Yeah, he went there. Okay, this is another monkey. Like, have you seen? Like literally just like that, na? He's just 10 feet away from me. Okay, I'm kind of like I haven't really seen monkey that much close to me. Welcome to India, by the way. We have a lot of monkeys over here. Okay, yeah. So yes, so basically yes, how do I supposed to be prevent them if the people are kind of like intentionally expose themselves? Same thing. Okay, yeah. If you intentionally mention your name, first of all I have to be detect that key. If you mention your name, how should you supposed to do things? Okay, yeah. So basically it's this thing. Obviously if the people mention their name but kind of like a dodge the system, then in that situation the user will have a kind of like a that button that key like a basically says that key, this particular person mentioned the kind of like a detail regarding about himself much more. So basically is this thing that key other user, when the other user kind of like record the artifact, they will like other user kind of listen someone artifact, they might see that key, okay, this particular person mentioned the name, report that particular person and things and that. If the report is actually happening, then probably that particular person, that artifact will not gonna recommend to the very less and less people. Yeah, but if you are intentionally keep doing that thing, then probably you will gonna get strike, or maybe your account gets suspended for at least like a month, or maybe I'm not really sure, but yeah, this will gonna happen. And making sure that things. But dude, na, if like what exactly happened that ki if one person kind of like sharing the detail, another people kind of like started sharing the detail and things and that. Now they kind of like get the value na, like basically it's saying that ki like you actually mentioned that ki you wanted to kind of like establish that ki like your thoughts are kind of like so crazy that you proud yourself, and you kind of like think that ki like I also thought that ki sometimes na artifact is a kind of like something so crazy that we just wanted to attach our name and things and that. Crazy means like a really kind of like a good, okay, yeah, I wanted to attach the name. In that situation, what do I supposed to do? Okay, so you will gonna like a basically this kind of like a stage will gonna happen if you recorded artifact for almost like a years, at least like a 5 year. You are so aware of your thought process that key you wanted to share your name and things and that, and you are not like kind of like a somebody, yeah. So in that situation, how do I supposed to do this thing? Well, basically it's this thing that na ki this will gonna happen after a kind of like years of recording artifact, okay, yeah. Being with the consistency, if you are being with the consistency and things and that I allow you to kind of like have your attach your name with this thing and that your privacy filter will not gonna work probably in my application, and you are being really responsible to kind of like using your information to kind of like tell that story and things and that. But still I'm not really sure about all those possible things, okay, yeah, because it's a kind of like it's might be the problem will gonna happen in the future, and probably I might not have the solution at the moment, because I have to be think about all the possible consequences. The first thing that I wanted to make sure that key make sure every artifact should supposed to be private, and that's the thing that I was gonna do. गेले, थँक्यू.